All right, so let's do this. It's been about a month since I moved in. It's July, what, 9th or something? I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but I thought I'd do an update. You know, first of all, there have been a couple people who left comments, you know, not too many, but it's just been actually pretty good because I've been thinking about a lot of that stuff. I've been thinking about, you know, how I talk about the things I can't talk about, you know. And I've made enough progress to where it's been nice living here. It's been nice and I guess a bit stabilizing. You know, it's my place. I get to be here, that sort of thing. So that's good. I've been not really worrying, but I've just been kind of solving small little issues. You know, just getting rid of the old furniture. In fact, it's a lot easier to talk about that stuff. You know, it's small little dipshit things. So I think we'll talk about that. And, you know, the caulking, well, I guess we'll get to that. I put that video up because that was really the highlight of the last month. But I sold $300 worth of stuff on Craigslist. What is it? Let's see here. A wood rack for $20. A coat rack. That old thing that was left. A small wood table with a drawer that was out over here. That small, right. That stuff came with the house because they didn't take it, that sort of thing. I sold that for 30 bucks. The queen-size bed in the bedroom. Oh, the bedroom actually is probably the most different looking thing. Let's go see that. Let's see here. That was for 100 bucks. I was worried, like, even if I donate it, like, no one's going to pick it up because who needs an old bed? And look at this. Finally, I got back to the whole minimalist thing. The table that used to be here, well, or one of the tables I brought. Let's see, where are the legs for it? But the point is, I took the legs out, and it's just the wood, or the top of it, right? It's amazing. It's just, you got a square of wood, and that's it, right? There used to be that ugly, I still haven't sold that. It was a, what am I calling it? It is a, it still is on sale here. Let's see here. Antique wooden dresser with mirror. There's some old furniture company on the back of it. It was selling for $27.50 back whenever. So that could be like, I don't know, a century old, but it's like old and crappy and nobody wanted it, you know. I did manage to drag it downstairs here, over here. So that was a momentous occasion. The fan gave out. So this is the, probably an original 1980 whatever. That's the fastest speed it goes. I noticed that it just stopped. I think it's like a circuit or capacitor. I looked it up. And it's like, I'm not an electrician. I'm not a fan repairman. So I bought a new one that's coming. I'll get the electrician. There's a couple other things. Like the garage light doesn't work. This tube light. I think we've shown this before on the moving days. Let's see if we can. Let's see. I think we can see it here. Oh, look at that. You can see it in the corner, and then there's going to be a white flash, hopefully. Ah, there we go. Perfect. I'm not crazy. It doesn't work. So, let's see here. So, you know, there's a couple little electrician things. Like, I don't have a ladder. I'm not going to be fucking around with a 3-foot pole 10 feet in the air. That's not happening. You know, it's not happening. But I have to wait for that to arrive, hopefully on Wednesday. So there's a couple little fun things to do with that. You know, oh, this thing, the sliding door. I figured out the issue here, right? So this door, there's no noise. It's flush with the wall, right? Mostly, you know. It goes very nicely, right? It's a little warped on the edges a little bit because, you know, it's old. Now notice this thing, right? Oh my goodness, look at that. And then you bump it here, and it's like, what the hell is this? You see? So you could be saying to yourself, well, it looks like some of the house is kind of shifted anyways, because like you're standing, you might be able to even see it here. But there's a noticeable, like, you know, and it's kind of annoying, but I don't think the house is going to split in half like the Titanic. But the point is, I thought, okay, but it doesn't feel like it's slanted here, right? So what did I notice? Well, notice here, right? Like you can't really put anything under here, but if you open it, you can put your finger like up here. You can, you know, hit it. It's the opposite here. you can put your finger under here. However, up here you can't. Right? I mean, I guess you have to take my word for it. It's pretty dirty. Or pretty dark. Not, well, I don't know. Right? So this is flipped. Take this and just, it's totally flipped. It's crazy, right? It's completely flipped. So maybe they took it out when they were, I don't know, painting it, whenever they were painting it, or this is how it was put on 30-something years ago, right? But this seems like a pretty easy thing because there's some screws on the back, and I could reverse it and it probably will work just fine. Because I'm absolutely certain it's flipped. It's the reverse. There's space up there. There's no space down there. There's space down there. There's no space up there. All right, it's got to be reversed. So that'll be you know, a new adventure to do, to unscrew that and maybe even clean out this garbage over here because that hasn't been cleaned in so long. Yeah, I mean this is also another highlight of the last month is the beautiful caulking here. You know, it's been a few days now, and boy, I am just a wow. It's amazing. You know, I'm really gonna have to applaud myself on this. I also was very busy with hooks. You know, there's a hook there for a towel. There's another hook. These are these command hooks you can buy. They're amazing. All right. So I had to throw all the towels and oh yeah, look at that. I had to throw all this stuff everywhere, like on the what do you call it, on the floor when I was taking a bath or something, because there were no hooks here. Like you could put it there, then it gets wet and probably doesn't fit anyways. But this is so the jumbo bathroom hook from Command. It's really my favorite because look at this. So you're coming out of the bathtub like this, right? And you're like, oh, look at that! I'm just throwing the towel here, and because of the rubber grip here, it stays there just with a one-handed. Let's see, is that going to be good? There we go. And wow. Okay, so that doesn't work, but you got to put it under your hand maybe like that. It's hard to film it, but a lot of the times it works, especially if you're not having to record yourself. But it's amazing. I put another hook back here for the coat. There's another one over here. So I've been very busy, you know, putting hooks everywhere, you know, very productively. There's some more hooks maybe for some of the paintings, because some of these nails are really awful. They're not lined up. Maybe I could put that painting there, that green one over here. Really, it's more for soundproofing than anything else. I kind of like these waterfall ones. That actually matches the lava lamp. Not that I'm much of an artist at all, but I kind of slapped this together. You know, I was looking at some old pictures, and this is actually from the old apartment. This is not even the house. I didn't even remember that I did it there. But I didn't do very much more. That's about it. Let's see here. What else did I do? Yeah, sold a couple stuff. Let's see. Hooks. Yeah, the what do you call it? The bathtub caulking. I mean, it's amazing how productive I've been in a whole fucking month. Let's see here. Right. Yeah, somebody might be coming over for that crappy leather chair that used to be here. Right, let's see here. Yeah, this is actually functional. This is more functional than the leather stuff I had at the old house, because it's nice and long, so I can sit there. I've been here maybe for 2-3 hours in the last month. You know, you have this this cabinet drawer thing. It has a lot of the office stuff in here, and I've wanted to buy something for in there that doesn't really go higher than the window. I haven't had, you know, an easy time buying anything that's like just right for it, or even just kind of right. I saw some nice things on Wayfair, it's interesting. This is the first time I've heard of Wayfair in the last month. There's some Trump detention center thing, like they're supplying it with stuff, and everyone was outraged, and it's like, I don't really give a shit. But they also sent me some coupons, you know, for moving and everything. Like they can figure out, well, no, it was the UPS or USPS people who, see right here, right there. They sent me some very nice coupons. But I looked at some of the stuff that could fit right, that had the right height, that had the right amount of storage capacity in it. And you know, some of the one-star reviews were like, oh, it kind of caves in a little bit if you put stuff on. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. Fuck this. But it's not that big of an issue, you know. Some of the old furniture that's left behind, I don't want to keep this shit. I don't want to keep this, but for now it works, you know. This isn't too much, it's not too crappy to the point where I just want to get rid of it immediately. And it's like, okay, who cares or whatever, it'll work out. Yeah, it's definitely slanted here, you know, and that's kind of annoying, you know. I don't think it's a big issue. But here, this is the sunroom, the converted patio, and it's hot as, well, I wouldn't say hot as fuck. The box fan is usually here. It's been a temporary measure. And I might get like some AC. The AC guy who came out here told me to put some insulation in the attic, which I did do. I did get people out, there's insulation. That helped for the whole house as well. And we'll really test it tomorrow. It's really like 95 or 96. But it's consistently during the hot part of the day. It's at 2-3 degrees hotter, maybe 2 degrees if you have this fan going, that fan going, box fan going. But you can see the windows are still here, right? They put this thing here, they put all these windows here, they bothered with everything. That fan doesn't even work. And they didn't bother taking these fucking windows out. Like, what is the purpose of keeping these here? Like, there must have been some double doors here or something, or a window and a door. But it's like these people did not take out these windows, including the top ones here. So if you are going with these fans, well, most of the wind that they would put in, most of the cool air, it just hits these goddamn windows. So it's like, do I do the air vent up here? Do I take out the windows? Oh, good Lord, you know, I don't need to be making these decisions. But it's actually kind of fun. You know, these are not that difficult questions to deal with. I guess if I were more proactive with this stuff, you know, I would have already done this by now. But I guess it's not that big of a deal. AC works well. Let's see here. Office desk, yes, we talked about that. Leather chair tomorrow, yes, the crappy one here. Oh, I fixed the key in the garage, or the lock in the garage door. It wasn't working. You know, so I went out to Lowe's, bought a key thing. What key thing? No, I bought a door with a keyed entry. And it's one of those smart keys where you stick this pin in it, and then you twist it, and then you do this in 90 degrees. And then it works with the key you have. So you don't have to like get new locks for everything. It's amazing. So I managed to do that as well. Of course, they don't sell the old colors and the old stuff. It's a garage door. Who gives a shit? You know? So I did that as well. Yeah. Is there anything else? Let's see here. Hooks, yeah. 5 hooks. 3 hooks one day. 2 hooks on the inside of the bathroom doors the next day. The fan I bought that. You know how long it takes to buy? We're gonna go off on the fans, yes. You know, the fans, as I said, the capacitor or something, it doesn't go. Sometimes it still goes fast. Right now it doesn't. Sometimes it still goes fast, but it just does. It is, you know, they're now really transitioning to only selling you fans with integrated LED. And what that means is, for some unknown reason, the LED bulbs are just built into the fan. So if it ever goes out, you can't just unscrew it. You have to like get the whole thing out. Maybe they sell the parts like $40. Of course you can't fix it yourself, so you have to get out somebody. So, you know, it takes $100 to screw in a light bulb. You know, might as well get a new fan. So I actually got the LED fan that has LED lights, you know, in it, but it still has the bulbs. You can twist them out, right? And, you know, I was thinking maybe we can get some bigger, who cares, bigger fans. This is 48 inches. Those are actually 52 out there. I measured that one and that one, 52. So I got a 52 white one. You know, because I was looking at this. See, look at that. It blends in very well, right? The pole is white. The motor house is white. The blades are brown. In case, I don't know, you're listening to this or something. But if it's white, it kind of blends in, right? It doesn't, you know, the nice high ceilings, it doesn't look cramped, especially with all the furniture here. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And I was thinking, you know, you put the air vent in the sunroom, you knock out the windows there, and then this fan wobbles. That fan makes a whooshing noise when it's rubbing against the, not all the time, but So you can get, if this fan works here real well, which it should, you can get the same ones out here. Those would be white. They'd blend in. You know, it would look a little nicer, actually. They'd blow in a lot more air in there. I don't know. There's just a lot of combination of things. But, yeah, so it takes a while to research, because this is a Hunter fan, right? It's a company that makes a lot of fans. But all of their new fans, they really don't have that much capacity to whoosh around a lot of air. They measure it in CFM, was it cubic feet per minute or something like that? And it was routinely almost half as much as just the normal fans that Home Depot sold under their brand name, right? And so that's kind of annoying. It's like, really? Like, yeah, it's like, why am I an expert on these things? Like, this is, whatever, this fan is probably an original from when the house was built, you know? This is probably a 30-year-old fan here. And it's like, you know, I have, what, like 2 days to figure out to buy a new fan. It's just, yeah, I just can't, you know, I can't even. But I think that should be a good fan. It'll be a good fan. So the electrician can finally come over. I still haven't called. I don't even know. I'll probably look up some recommendations. But it's no, it'll be fine. It's been nice to be here for a month, and these things actually don't piss me off that much. You know, it's like, oh, I'll call somebody. We'll get. It's a lot better than having to wait for, you know, a handyman to show up from the landlord, right, back in the old house. It's really a lot better. Again, the slanting of the house, in some parts, it does bother me a bit more, you know, which is very ironic, because if you recall, the one thing that set me the fuck off was the fact that the handyman that my landlord always had, he came over to fix the slanted floors in the house, and not very successfully. Although I think it's more of a kind of foundation issue here, which is not very cheap. You know, and it's more of an aesthetic thing. Like, if it's, again, if the house is going to split in half, I can live with it. It's just kind of the uncertainty of it, right? Like, is this a big problem, or is this just not? Whatever. But I guess it's ironic that I did move to a house that has some noticeable slants in some places, given that was, well, it wasn't the slant, it was the fact that it wasn't being fixed, and I had to put up with that nonsense. But nonetheless, it does feel better being in a little more control here and having a little more options and looking into things. Anyway, so the fan, yeah, it's better to be looking into what do you call it? It's better to be, yeah, just researching it a little bit, but it isn't always, because the same thing with the caulking stuff. It's like, it took a couple days to figure this out of, oh, this is, and now it's like I'm a caulking expert. I'm a caulk expert, okay? It's like, well, good luck with that. I mean, maybe I can do it on the bathroom downstairs that I'm never going to use, you know? So it's like, yes, I mastered this. I know what I'm doing, and I'm never going to use this again. Nope, never again. Never again will I have to, hopefully never again will I have to do this, right? Because it looks like it's on, after a week, it's pretty, you know, like it didn't peel off the first day. It's, you know, it's very nice. That's an optical illusion. There's nothing under it. Don't worry about it, right? It's just some of the caulk was, what do you call it? There was a lot there, so when the tape was removed, it lifted up, and it looks like there's something under, or there's a gap that there really isn't, you know. So, no, it works very well. There's not, no, this is all fun. So anyways, what's my point? So that it's like, oh, I'm now a fan expert after researching. And never again. I mean, maybe the other two out there, that sort of thing. But it just feels like after all this research, I should get more than just a little bit of wind in the room. Like what I was used to 2 days ago before this fucking thing went out, right? It's like I shouldn't have to do all this, and then it's like never again will I have to use this. But that's life, right? So, let's see here. Complaining about, what's next on the complaining thing? Fan, yes. so that's basically it. It is easier. Now, it is fun to sort of fix these things a little bit, or, you know, and I have been thinking about there have been maybe 3 or 4 comments left that actually have gotten me thinking about the stuff I want to actually talk about, the more deep stuff. The books that are over here, for example, right? And it's always, it's difficult to talk about this stuff. It really is. You know, I mean, I could like lift it. I am lifting it off the shelf, right? And we could read it, but we're not going to right now. It's just going to be right here. And there are days where it does feel a little closer to finally just starting this, you know? And, you know, we'll get there. I think we will, because part of it is a lot nicer being here, even with the slanted. It's very slanted in that corner. Now, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing with the slant. Downstairs is also sort of slanting, so it's not like the floors are pancaking in. Is that better? Is that worse? Who knows? Who knows? You know, I could actually get, but you know, I have tried looking it up, like get an engine. That's not very cheap. And he's going to probably tell me what I already know, which is like, well, it's going to cost a fortune to fix. It's probably not some catastrophic thing anyway, so I don't know. I'd rather throw my money at more interesting things, but I'll look it up at some point. I'll take my sweet damn time. Oh, by the way, yeah, that leather couch, probably someone's taking it tomorrow for 20 bucks. The one of the little cube legs on it doesn't work. When I was cleaning here for the first time, I dragged it out of the way and I saw that, and it's like, oh my god, they left this up. I think I've complained about that enough. But wooden rocking chair. Like, does anyone use it? Does anyone really use it? It's like, oh, it'll be in the corner. I don't know, it was here. No one uses it, come on. There was a TV stand downstairs, crappy piece of crap. The round glass table that was in the master bedroom, 48 inches. It's 4 feet. Like, what was on that thing? Like, what is the need for this massive table in that room? Oh, that ugly wooden dresser with the mirror. Yeah, so, I don't know. This was bulky. I could remove the mirror, I could take the cabinets out, and I could drag it downstairs. That's also a massive accomplishment. Yes. Let's see here. Yeah, I called the trash people. I scheduled a pickup for some of the other stuff that we haven't seen that I still haven't thrown away. Weaved storage bins. Yeah, that stuff was just... ugh. It wasn't a complete piece of... well, it's not something you could sell, but... it's just, why was this crap here, you know? And then I have to deal with it, and it's like my brain is just works like quicksand on this stuff. Just, is that a metaphor? That makes any sense? It's like, why am I having... see, that's the great thing with minimalism, is I don't have to deal with this shit, right? That's why I don't like having a lot of stuff around, because then I have to fucking deal with it, you know? But again, that was part of the deal of, you know, they're moving back to, I think, Mexico, so they don't want to take all this stuff with them. But, ugh, I can't even. I just can't even. Let's see here. Oh, I figured out the dishwasher was made in June 2004 in Ohio. There was a website where you can enter the serial number, and then based off of whatever codes or what, they figured that out. So it's a 15-year-old dishwasher. It washes better and dries better than the relatively new one I had at the old house. Isn't that interesting? And then at Home Depot, the website, I was looking at, okay, if this does break, what do I buy? The one problem is the cabinets are a little lower than what they have now. So there's still a couple you can buy, but it's one of those annoyance things where, okay, the dishwasher goes out. Do I remodel the kitchen before in anticipation of that? The oven's kind of old. It's a smaller slot. Or do we have less options with the slot, and then but you know, the thing is, over the last month, I'm not freaking out about this shit anymore. It's like, whatever, we'll figure it out, right? So that's actually nice. That's very nice. You know, yeah, that's nice. So let's get back to the book we're not actually going to talk about, or any of these books we're not going to talk about. We're going to talk about how I can't talk about them, which is fun, right? Which is a lot of fun. Oh, the furniture that's going to go in there. I would prefer something that's like the lighter, these colors. This is an original little thing that can. This is actually good. This is actually good. You can put a cup here. You know, it's that color, that color. I don't like these darker browns. Something like that, or even white that just blends in with the, yeah, whatever office storage cabinet thing. It can't be very high because I don't want it blocking my windows, right? That sort of thing. But anyways, yeah, it's at some point, I think I'm just going to have the peace and the calmness and stability to just say, you know what, let's just start reading this, you know, in a sort of coherent way. Oh, what did I write here? Oh my. Oh. How deep. It's my notes. I'm not going to read them out loud, no. That's a teaser. There's something interesting. Now, I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time. But we're not going to talk about it right now. I'm going to read the notes to myself. And, anyways, see, I did take notes here. You know, I did take notes. I thought out loud about it sometimes. And at some point, we'll get to see what's in here. All right. You know, but it's just tough. It's again, the toughness about it is, what's the point? It's that loop of what's the point about talking about this stuff. There have been people who've talked about these sort of stuff, the childhood stuff, even the Guerrero stuff, like me. Well, I guess it's only me, but there's good enough material. Well, time flies when you're rambling to yourself. And I heard a faint beep, you know, but yeah, this is second video, because again, 4 GB, about 27-minute limit here. But as we were talking about, not talking about this book, there's good enough stuff on the things I'm interested in. The, I guess, psychology, parent stuff, what happened to me, what happened to other people, the Guerrero stuff, a couple other. But the point is, there's good enough stuff good enough stuff already on it to where it's like, okay, what the fuck can I contribute to this? And there's some things now, but is there really anything I can do? And that's what always brings me to the whole despairing, suicidal stuff as well. You know, but it's like, well, I'm not going to kill myself right now anyways, so I might as well just start. So cognitively, I get that okay, but it's just, I'm not quite there. Yeah, in more than one way, isn't that true? So that's just been the issue, you know, and it's getting a little better. It's getting a little better, I think, in the sense that, you know, I'm here, new house. This was one of the things that I was hoping for, that because it's my house, I don't have to fear about, oh, I'm going to get kicked out, the landlord wants to, oh, I'm wasting so much money. And no, this is good, except the slanted floors. Ironically, slanted floors. Good name for a band. You know, so yeah, it's getting there. And part of it, just to go back, I guess, to the comments thing, is there were some good comments. And it's always tough to respond to it, because it's just, you know, I could start talking about to answer that, and it's like, I just can't do it. It has, you know, I'm thinking about it. You know, I'm thinking about this stuff. It's just not easy to just start with that stuff. It really hasn't been. And I think that's really it, you know. The update is that there really aren't that many updates. Some minor things that probably could have been done in, I guess, a week or two instead of 4 or 5. But, you know, that's fine. You know, that's fine. You know, it took me a month to put up hooks on the door. And, you know, it's like, I don't want to rush out and buy shit I don't need. That's also part of it. You know, I don't want to do that. So part of it is that I just want to take my sweet time on some of these things. And that's fine, too. You know, perfectly fine, I guess. Hooks. So yeah, I guess that's it, you know. Part of it is, since we got another up to 27 minutes here, well, the battery might also be an issue. Doesn't matter. We're probably not going to go another 27 minutes here. Yeah, challenge accepted. I really want to have the sort of passion back that I had when I was doing the Guerrero stuff. When I read all of it, put it together, and there was a sort of passion with it. There was a sort of and even there it was kind of getting tough to do some of it. But I had that passion. I was reading tons of books. You know, I was writing a lot of it. I didn't do any like live video stuff, and it's weird because, well, no, it doesn't matter. But I at least want to have that passion back to where it's like, all right, I'll read this, I'll talk about it, think about it. Although I guess I did think about it, but I didn't put anything live up or anything sort of somewhat timely or video oriented. Maybe that was an issue too, you know. But it's getting there. It certainly is, I think, getting there. It's just, it's a process. And I guess that's it. You know, I guess that is it. It feels like there's something more I want to get out, but it's just kind of repeating the same thing, which is fine too. It's fine too. Let's flip through my notes again here on the margins, marginalia. Yes. Let's see here. Yes. So, yeah, but yeah, part of it is there anything new that I can put out there, you know? And it's not even that, because with the Guerrero thing it was new, but that didn't work. So is there anything I can put out there that can work, i.e., is there a critical mass of people that's worth being around, that's interested with this, that can... And that's always been the tough stuff, you know, is like, probably not. But then fucking do it anyways. Just put it out there. It just... Yeah, but no, it's not as easy as that. You know, it's not as easy as that. So, well, I think that is it for now. I want to get to the point, where I'm putting stuff up. I feel good about it. It's a nice rhythm, and even if it doesn't get me what I want in the moment, it's just I like doing it. I like putting stuff up. I want to get there, and we're not quite there. It's taken. Have I done a video? I did the caulking video, but in terms of. Yeah, I moved here a month ago. I did the videos for the last day. That was a month ago. It took me another 2 weeks to upload it. I'll probably put this up relatively quickly. I'm not going to wait too much time with this, I don't think. But yeah, it's just tough. It's just tough to. And I've thought about this stuff out loud. So it's not like but. Moving from thinking about it to putting it on video, and that's a big transition here, you know. That's a big transition. It is hard to, because I know what I want to put out there. I know what I want to say, sort of, but then it's just, I don't know. It's tough to, yeah, it is just tough to put. So I opened the book on, we will mention a word in this book now, from one of the books I mentioned before. And there's a word here, what is it? There we go, Buspar. Is that it? Buspar. Right there. Right there. That's the stuff I was on for a few weeks. And I mentioned that before, I think, on the same couch. Well, yeah, that was the one with the side effect that felt like my blood stopped going. That was the sensation of it, and then I got sort of a shock as the blood felt like it was starting again, right? It was anti-anxiety or some bullshit like that, you know. No. It can't be that, you know, my parents are bores and I can't talk to them about anything, including the all-important military school incident where they threatened to send me to military school despite good grades. You know, despite good grades, despite the fact, yeah. And then I couldn't tell them, that, what the fuck is wrong with you people? And then it's like, oh, wait a second. You people threatened to abandon me multiple times. Oh, but, I'm the one who needs drugs. Okay. Okay. And it's stuff like that. It's hard to talk about this coherently. You know, but hey, look at that. The first, we're getting into this right now. I don't know how many minutes we got here, but this is It's Nobody's Fault by Harold S. Koplowitz, page 133. The first line of medication treatment used for children with social phobia and selective mutism is SSRIs, specifically Prozac, Luvox, and Zoloft. With their minimal and infrequent side effects, occasional nausea, weight loss, restlessness, drowsiness, moodiness, and insomnia, and losing your soul, I'm editorializing here. These medicines are the drugs of choice. Also effective are anti-anxiety agents such as Klonopin, Xanax, and Buspar. I don't say any of this. So it's, you know, it's tough to translate, you know, the sort of 15 years of experiences, 15 years of the sort of cognitive, intellectual stuff as well, and sort of integrate it together. And, you know, how do I put this out there, right? That sort of thing. There's a lot of stuff. How do I edit it together to where it's even remotely interesting and can sort of take off and that sort of thing? Do we have time? 10 minutes. Let's do a little bit here. Is this the one? You know what? Let's do a little bit. We'll probably repeat this another time, shall we? So this is a one-page. See, if there's one thing, did we read this last time? Yeah. Speaking of memory loss and other side effects, but let's see here. This is one page, and if you get this, you know, this is one page, and everything else is a repetition on this. But let's see here. One of my first patients, this is XV preface, page 15 there. Not page, but the Roman numeral 15, because it's... So, one of my first patients as a psychiatric resident was Ned, a boy I don't think I'll ever forget, and neither will we. He was about 9 years old when his mother brought him to see me. He had been having a terrible time in school. His performance was poor, and his teacher was complaining about his behavior. He didn't have much of a social life either. None of the other kids in the class wanted to play with him, and their parents didn't like having him around. After making a diagnosis of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, I prescribed medication for Ned, a small dose of Ritalin twice a day, and saw him once a month for nearly a year. We talked about what was going on in his life. See, that's important, you see, but his parents were going through a particularly unpleasant divorce and worked on improving his social skills and self-esteem. After the year was up, I saw him only every few months to monitor his progress. His improvement was remarkable in every way. His grades were terrific, he had lots of friends, and his parents said it was a joy to be with the new Ned. Nice and doped up, and yeah. Anyways, a few years after I first saw Ned, he invited me to his elementary school graduation. So this is a few years while he was 9, graduating, right? He was getting a class prize for the best science project, and he wanted me to hear his acceptance speech. Ned said that his mother was having a party at the house afterward, and he wanted me to be there too. I told him that I would really like to be there, but I had a few questions. Where do you think I should sit? I asked him. Well, says Ned, if you sit with my mom or my dad, the other one will be jealous, he answered. Okay, so let's read that again. So this is a few years after divorce. Well, if you sit with my mom or my dad, the other one will be jealous, he answered. There's a couple things in there. You might want to see if you get that one. You're like, the alarm bells are going off. Then, yeah. Maybe you could sit with my friend's parents. Okay, and how should I introduce myself, I asked. This question was clearly harder than the first one. Why should it be harder? You know, if it's nobody's fault, and this is just like, you know, I have an insulin deficit, so I'll just take drugs for it. So why should it be hard to say that this is the psychiatrist giving me crazy meds, right? Because it's nobody's fault, right? Okay, well, let's move on. Quote, we can tell people you're my veterinary. Speaking of, you know, other side effects of not being able to pronounce simple words, we can tell you're my veterinarian. It's not coming out. Animal doctor. The boy ventured. Oh, let's cover up things. Let's lie. Great things, yes. But you don't have any pets, I said. Not don't lie or, hey, that's not real. The lie's not going to work, retard. All right. I'll say I used to have a bird with a wing that was broken, but then you fixed it and it flew away. Oh, what a brilliant metaphor, Ned. You lying sack of shit. I told him that I don't think that making up a story was a good idea. Well, yes, well, you kind of were. Okay. And he agreed to think about it. Graduation day came, and I stood at the back of the room and listened to Ned's speech. I wasn't able to go to the family party, so after the ceremony, Ned took me over to meet his grandparents. This is Dr. Koplowitz, he said. He's ... my friend. True to his word, the youngster had come up with a description of our relationship without making anything up. Really? Now, that also implies a couple things, like the grandparents don't know, or Ned doesn't know the grandparents don't know. Again, we're not going to analyze this too much. It's more of a... After meeting the family, I stayed for a while, watching as Ned, clutching his award, talked animatedly to his friends and family. Now, again, I hinted at a couple things, and we're not going to go in too deeply with this, but, you know, it's just pretty frustrating, isn't it? Pretty frustrating, you know. You see that the kid's the one doped up, but, you know, the parents, after the divorce, apparently, can't even sit next to each other, and they're a bunch of jealous twats who can't have, the kid's doctor sitting with one parent or the other, or at least that's what the kid's getting out of it, right? But it's the kid who has to be on the drugs, right? Because the parents are great, the school's great, the environment's great. And, you know, yeah. Right. And this is a fucking MD, isn't it? Right there, man. Medical doctor. A professional. Okay. So, this is the kind of bitterness that you can expect in the next couple thousand videos on these topics. And I think we made some great progress, actually, to be quite honest, you know. Just little by little, we're getting there, I think, you know. And, yeah. Well, is there another paragraph here? You know. I think I'm shooting the top of my head here, you know. Oh, well. It's more of an audio production anyways. Along the way, I try to reassure the parents of these troubled kids. Well, they certainly are troubled, but, and give them hope. It's the children who are troubled, yes. Well, they sort of are, yes, with adults like this in their lives, all around, you know. See, and then it's living with the child's brain disorder. It's not even like maybe it's a brain thing, it's a brain disorder, you see. When you're acting out in school because your parents are going through a particularly nasty divorce and they're such jealous twats, that, you know, they can't bother to sit next to each other at the kids' fucking graduation ceremony, you see. And they can't, you know... See, why do I have to explain this shit, right? Like, that's the good enough stuff, or that's the problem with this. Isn't this so fucking obvious? Isn't this so fucking obvious? And there have been some people, Molyneux was mentioned before, comment was made about, this is so obvious, you know? So what can I add to this, you know? And because good enough stuff is already out there about this, if there's so few people interested in this, then what can I bring to the table? It just seems like it's fucking zombie world where it's easier to dope up kids and living with a child's brain disorder. Yeah, if we're going to be speculating about brain disorders that are nobody's fault, why is it that the kid is the one who has, right? It's not the shitty parent. No, it's never them. No way. We have to reassure the parents of these troubled kids with their fucking brain disorders, for fuck's sake. You know, I'll do it in 19 minutes and the battery's flashing. You know what? Let's see. Is there one more note here we can, there's a note here. Oh my God. Okay, well, we'll get into it another time. You know, we'll get into it another time. But I think that was enough to start with, you know. So yeah, I didn't think we'd get to this. I think this is why I need to flip this fucking camera on. And if the warm-up is talking about these fucking fans and talking about the slanted house, which it is, and it's annoying, then that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. So that's it for now. And, yeah.